guys, so I finally got it. The electric palette. Oh, yes. For weeks, I've been so excited about it. As soon as they announced it, I knew I needed it. And let's get to opening it. Okay, so here we have the electric palette. As you can see, it is equally as colorful as the box. And you know, I always save the boxes. I can't help myself. I can't bring myself to throw them away. They're always so pretty, so I always keep them. So this is the electric palette. As you can see, it has a pretty sturdy plastic. It's a pretty heavy plastic too, like the palette's pretty heavy. It's a lot smaller than I originally thought. It's pretty much the size of my hand. In typical Urban Decay fashion, we have an entire full mirror. And here are the colors from, what side is this? Oh shit, what side is this? Left. Right. Left. Okay, from the left to right on the top corner, we have Revolt, Gonzo, Slow Burn, Savage, and Fringe. And on the bottom corner, we have Chaos, Jilted, Urban, Freak, and Thrash. Okay, so let's get to swatching. And okay, the first color we have is Revolt. It is a very silver color. I'm tempted to say it's like gunmetal goes to a party. A much lighter gunmetal goes to a party. A gunmetal that lost a whole bunch of weight and they kind of want to show off Revolt. Now, next in the palette is Gonzo. Now, Gonzo is a very, very true blue, almost with green undertones. So, both of them are pretty shimmery. Okay, next in the palette, we have Slow Burn. And Slow Burn, as you can see, is a very, very pigmented orangey red. Next in the palette, we have Savage. And Savage is a very intense candy pink. Next in the palette, we have the color Fringe. And Fringe is a deep teal, and it's also shimmery. And these are the colors in the top row of the palette. Again, we have Revolt, Gonzo, Slow Burn, Savage, and Fringe. Alright, so now we're going to swatch the bottom half of the palette. And first color up is Chaos. Now, Chaos is a royal blue, and Chaos is from the Vice palette. They brought it over to the Electric palette, and it's a very, very pigmented, shimmery royal blue with purple undertones. Which, you know, speaking of colors that sort of make sense together, you know which YouTuber I really like is Allura Beauty for her ability. One, she has an amazing vocabulary. Two, her ability to sort of mix colors together to describe them to you. And sometimes they're colors that don't even make sense, but once she describes them and swatches them, they make sense. Like a chartreuse taupe. Seriously? What the shit? And then she swatches it and it makes sense. Next color is Jilted. And Jilted is a burgundy purple. Although it is described as fuchsia with a blue shift. And I absolutely have to agree with how it's described on the palette. Next color is Urban, and this is a metallic purple. Although this one's pretty satiny. Actually, the ones on the bottom are pretty satiny. Next up we have Freak. And Freak is a deep sea foam. I'm sorry, I'm getting the colors dirty, I know. Don't yell at me, YouTube, I know. Although it is described as a neon green. And finally we have Thrash, which is a chartreuse. And those would be all of the colors in the bottom half of the palette. So these are the colors, that's the palette. There was a warning that they issued when this palette came out, and it basically said that the colors Slow Burn, Savage, Jilted, and Urban should not be used around the immediate eye area. Now, if it's an eyeshadow palette, one would come to think, why would they issue a warning against using their eyeshadow palette? Now, it's Urban Decay. Everybody's freaking out, but they're forgetting that it's Urban Decay. What they do is eyeshadows, what they do is makeup. It's not like they're gonna put lead in their palette. So basically, I figured, fuck it, and I really like the colors, and I'm gonna get it. So that's exactly what I did. And their explanation to this, at least on the Urban Decay UK website, was that it is a multi-use artistry palette. They've modified pigments for maximum color payoff. So they've taken their regular pigments and they've added shit to it. And the colorant that they used to maxify this color payoff is not approved in the US, but it is approved everywhere else. So basically, everybody's just getting all worked up over nothing, because you can put it on your immediate eye area. Your eye isn't gonna fall off, you're not gonna cave into yourself, it's fine. Urban Decay knows what they're doing. Now, what I liked about the palette was the color layout. Like, a lot of people are complaining about the color layout, but I don't seem to find it a problem. I really like all of these colors. I know there's a lot of blue tones, but I mean, you've seen the palette before it comes out. You know what you're getting into. So if you don't like the colors, if you don't like the layout, don't get the palette. I, for one, think all of the colors mesh very well together and they are fantastic. The pigments are insane. You need to get this palette just for the amount of pigment. The box design, the weight, the quality, it's all classic Urban Decay. What I didn't like about the palette was satin for my own personal taste. I do like shimmers, I do, but I feel like I have a lot of shimmers, and I was really hoping for maybe a whole palette full of satin. I know, it's wishful thinking, but whatever. And also, Urban Decay, what's going on? My box didn't have any primer samples. I bought the Naked 3 palette when it came out, and I got an entire sleeve of primers. This box didn't bring any, and that's pretty upsetting. I don't like to buy shit, but I certainly do like to sample it. Maybe I'm the reason why they don't put primers in boxes anymore. And yeah, that's it, guys. So this is the Urban Decay palette for you. Below, like this video if it helped you out in any way. If you would like to see any more swatches of anything else, also let me know in the comments below. Also, if you would like me to make a tutorial on a look involving the Urban Decay electric palette, please do not hesitate to comment below.